if a dementia resident can read, even at an elementary level, and they want to read and they have the will to read, then when you come and visit, rather than sitting and talking to them, which can be quite an effort sometimes, read to them, read with them, read to them, they can read to you, you can read with them, alongside them. It's such a lovely, interesting activity, and it's so helpful for them, because with the reading, with the focusing, with the concentrating, they can recalibrate their thinking away from the dementia stress and often dementia chaos, and rechannel and refocus and re-gear and concentrate through the reading, which is what reading does. It's a wonderful activity because it rechannels and refocuses our thinking, and with that, communication improves vastly. If a person can read, then their communication skills will definitely improve. So I'll just go into these techniques now. So for example, at the unit, there were a number of people that read, and some more so than others. There's always going to be a range, as with anything, you know, in terms of intellectual capacity or interest or will or wish or past experience, in terms of how much they've read before. And of course, school teachers, chances are school teachers are going to be much more likely to read and be interested in reading, because education's all about reading. Whereas if you've been a builder or, you know, you've been a plumber, chances are you won't be reading as much, so you may not be interested in it. But for those that are interested in it, in the reading, this is the video for them. Okay, so really the big thing is finding that which interests, once again, that which interests the person, to engage them with the reading, you know. Like for men, for example, it can sometimes be difficult, as we've talked about, to get activities that are interesting for men. But most men usually like big, beautiful coffee table books on something to do with mechanics, you know, whether it's tractors or trains or ships or whatever. And you'll know, you know, what your husband's interest is, say classic cars. I mean, many men like that, and let's say your husband likes it. Well, go to the library and get some lovely, you know, one or two lovely big books on classic cars. I mean, you might not want to leave it at the unit because, you know, it might get ripped, torn, or put anywhere, or flooded. If it's a library book anyway, you better take it home. But if it's one you've just got at home anyway that's not doing anything there, one of your husband's books, bring it in, leave it in his room as well, so he has access to it. And when you've got the book out there on the table in the kitchen, say, reading it with him, not to just flick through the pages, but ask him, you know, to read it and see if he can read. And if he's able to read, you know, the yellow car or whatever it is, and you can see he's reading it, not just saying it's a yellow car, but reading the actual script, the yellow car, and then he's spelling it out and reading it. Encourage that, really encourage that, and work with him on it. And you can read it out, you know, say it's a yellow Mercedes Benz or whatever it is. I mean, that's a complicated name, but the thing is, if he's had a Mercedes Benz, you know, he won't find it complicated. That will be in his past memory bank, so you can work on that. And just, you know, just read a few words or one or two lines, you know, and just go into the depth and detail of that one page. That's always the best way, not to flick through 100 pages, but to keep the focus and concentration going. Just focus on that one yellow Mercedes Benz, everything about it, depth and detail, you know. You know, you can, oh yes, Doug, well, you used to have a brown Mercedes Benz, didn't you? Yes, and I loved that car. Okay, so this is a yellow one, but similar make, I think. Yes, looks it. And, you know, then you can just talk about that. And then, of course, other men, chances are, will come around with a lovely big book on cars, and that helps with the friendship, things like that. So this is, and look, even if you're not interested in cars and you've never been interested in cars, never mind, make yourself interested, even if you're not interested. Actually, what sometimes happens is that, you know, everything can be interesting, actually, you know. I mean, if you put your you know, thinking to it, mind to it, intellect to it, it can become interesting. There's always something interesting about everything. And so if you, put your attention to it, and especially because it's helping your husband, you'll find that often you can bring yourself round and become interested pretty much in any topic. I found that when I was working at the dementia unit, I became interested in practically everything because with the wide range of interests of the dementia residents, to get them engaged. So do the same with your husband, and it's a very good way. Now, another thing to help dementia residents read, which is a really, really effective way, is the karaoke, singing and music. Not just singing along everyone together, but have the script up on the screen, the karaoke or the Netflix or smart TV, because they can read it as well as sing it. And so they're getting that double activation. They're getting past memory activation of songs, that they know. They're getting reading concentration, focus activation up on the screen. They're getting the endorphins going, singing with everyone and enjoying it, so that relaxes them more. And when you're relaxed, you can focus and concentrate more easily. You're getting the companionship, camaraderie and warmth of the group, so you feel more relaxed and settled with that. You love singing anyway, so you've got that talent. There's so many things with singing that can come in to help. And the thing is, it's not such a formal recalibrating exercise on the thinking as reading is. It's informal and it's fun. So that's why it's so good to tap into as much as practically possible the singing. You need variety of songs too. But look, it doesn't matter. To get things going at the start, for example, pick a favourite song. In New Zealand, it's Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer do. Like everyone in the dementia unit of this elder generation in New Zealand knows Daisy, Daisy. So chances are when it's sung, they'll remember it from the past, memory bank. If not, everyone else is singing it. So they just follow along. And then it's easy for them to read and sing at the same time. Daisy, Daisy. So they can see, oh, well, everyone's singing D-A-I-S-Y, D-A-I-S-Y. So that's Daisy. And on it goes, So singing, sing the same song a few times, actually. It is actually a good idea, especially if it's a golden oldie song that they're familiar with, because that just gets their memory, their thinking track going and oiled. You want it to be oiled. And in that way, confidence picks up as they realise, that they can sing. They can read the odd word or two, or maybe even more than an odd word or two up on the screen. And encourage them to sing out, because having been in a dementia cave, as many have been, for some time, many haven't spoken for a long time, let alone sung, They haven't had the ability or confidence or, resources to do so. So when they sing, encourage them to sing loudly, more than a whisper, so that when they speak, you can hear them. Otherwise, it can just be a little whisper and you can't hear what on earth they're saying, even, So they have to get used to being able to use their vocal cord, the muscles of their vocal cords again, and the singing is an easy way to do that. And the thing is too, like everyone else is singing, so it doesn't matter. They're not going to feel so self-conscious as they would when they're speaking, maybe for the, first time or, first few times. They're not going to feel self-conscious because everyone else is singing and, taking up the space. So in these, situations, singing is absolutely pivotal. So how else to help a resident with their reading? So hopefully for those that have been interested in the newspaper, of course, you've got that subscription going. You've got the Women's Weekly magazine subscriptions going for women that have loved, the women's magazines, Women's Day, Women's Weekly. So many things you can do with reading. It just goes on. And once you start on it, then you'll get new ideas as you go along, both from what you're doing and other relatives at the unit. So thank you for your likes and your looks. Thank you for your subscriptions. We're nearly at 100 for YouTube, which is fabulous, and all your likes and support. I really appreciate it. Thank you.